morning, everybody. Welcome to our IBP executive meeting for March. Let's get underway. So I'm showing the agenda here in Jam. We've got created that in SAP Jam. We've got quite a few topics to get through. Hopefully you've gone through it already. Material good? I'm sure you have. Yes?
Yes.
First things first, let's deal with last meeting's minutes. Let's open up in Jam as well.
So these minutes are held directly in the system?
Yes, absolutely. All the content that we need for the review meetings, documents, reviews, minutes, agendas, are all in SAP Jam. So these are the minutes from the last meeting. If you can see those, let's zoom in a bit. So most of you attended, I think, even Dan was there. I just want to check around the group. Does everyone approve the minutes? Dan, you're on the phone there. Can you hear us? Are you okay with last month's minutes? Yes, thank you. Okay. Stephen?
Yeah.
Julian?
Approved by me.
Patrick?
Yeah, fine with me.
Excellent. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is a review of performance versus plan. Subject dear to Stephen's heart, I'm sure. So let's have a look at our executive review dashboard. It's also in IBP, of course. So you can see here plan comparison by quarter. Let's drill into that a bit more to show it full screen. So we can see that we're sort of consistently 10% or so down on plan despite all our best efforts. And you can clearly see this in the plan comparison chart. So taking Q2 as an example, we can see AOP is, what's that, 47 million. Consensus demand one is only 42 million, 43 million.
This is clearly unacceptable. What's the cause of this?
Well, to me, it's the supply issues we've been having in Runcorn that have been affecting emotions. If you look at the performance by family, you can clearly see the difference. Jeff, can you just do a drill down for me to the product families, please?
Sure, of course, will do. Double click on that.
Yeah, so from here, what you can see is you've got the glosses here, and the eggshells are slightly ahead of plan. But for the emulsions here, quite clearly we're showing the annual operating plan in blue, and we've got a massive drop there in terms of where we are currently with our plan.
Well, as this is the next item, I suppose we might as well deal with the supply issues. Patrick, what's going on?
Yes, well, you know, as you recall, we only invested in modern film pack lines at the Frankfurt plant, and Runcorn's are pretty much no last legs.
A bit like Jeff over there. Shouldn't the Runcorn plant manager take a bit of responsibility here and be replaced? Sorry guys, it's Sarah from CNR DIY. If you don't mind, I'll just do that. Hey Sarah, Ian. How's Rex? Yeah, good, thanks. All good. How can I help today? Wow. That's a lot. By March, yeah. So to play that back to you then, so you want 200,000 litres a month for your key spring campaign, yeah? For the emulsions only. And you also want an increase in the discount we give as well, yeah? Okay, so leave that with me. I'm just in an SAP session right now, and I'll try to get an answer to you by early afternoon, yeah? Okay, no worries. Thanks, bye-bye. Sorry guys, well, did you hear?
Yeah.
What do you think? Is it doable?
We're already below plan, and CNR are already pressuring us on margin.
And to add to that, well, our supply problems at Runcorn pack line situation, I really don't think we can achieve this.
Okay, well I get all that, guys. Why don't we have a look at the numbers right now in Excel and IBP?
Great.
So first of all, let's look at the consensus sales numbers first. This shows initially we're looking at everything. We only really care about C&R, I think, at this point. C&R emulsions,
Yeah,
is that right, Julian? So let's just filter that to show C&R emulsions. So you can see this view is by sales org and product family. So we're not looking at SKU level, but it disaggregates down to SKU when we change the data.
Okay, so in terms of what we can see here, then we've got the Excel view, and we've got the green showing our consensus demand quantity from the previous month, and orange would be the current. And then we can see for C&R emulsions, that's where we're sort of lagging slightly behind our plan. So I think, Jeff, if you could probably add the 200,000 litres into March, April and May.
Oh, okay, I will do. So March, April and May, yeah? So let's use an Excel macro to do that. Bang. But I think what I also need to do is create a scenario, because we want to be able to compare this situation with the baseline later for the CFO's benefit. So let's have a look at that. So an ID and a description. You could share it with different people involved if you wish to.
Sorry guys, I'm a bit slow. What's a scenario?
Yeah, let me answer that for you, Julian. So the scenario is actually a copy of the baseline model, in which you can perform simulations of different potential future events. So it's a bit like a what-if analysis, effectively. I think the good thing that I've seen with the system is that you can actually select who you assign it to, either by user or even by role. So that's pretty useful, especially if you've got some sensitive information that you don't want to actually go viral, to say. So yeah.
Excellent. So we've got the scenario back there. I can now save the data, because we're going to need that later on. I can give a reason code as to why I'm making a change. I can give a comment, so we can say it's a C&R, Easter promotion. And I can share it with the executive review. Save. And now it's actually going to save the results. So we also need to increase C&R's discount. I think Julian, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You're going to give me some more money that way, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, really have to. So I've got a view here that shows the discounts. We define discounts at sales or customer ID down to SKU. But again, we're only going to need to do it for C&R. Emulsions, I think, Julian, not giving discount for everything.
Sorry, Jeff, could you share that last comment in SAP Jam, please?
Yes, I'd like to see where that comment ends up.
Yeah, let me just select this first. I'm going to add in the scenario. And that's running. So we should be able to update, if we refresh that. Go to our executive jam group, and there we go. There's the reason code shown as a tag, which we'll use for searching later on in the description. And I can do things like liking, replying, sharing with other groups, and things like that. So let's return to our discounts. So we've got both the scenario and the baseline. So what am I doing here, Julian?
Yeah, could we, on stretch as it is at 15, I think probably go to 17.5% max.
So again, just for March to so I can use just normal Excel drag across to apply to all the others. And then I save that data as well. I'll give it a similar description, but let's keep it short for now. Share it with our group again. So that's saved. Okay. So, Patrick, to your earlier point, we best check if we can actually supply this extra stuff.
Yes.
I need to show you the screen, I think. There we go.
Ah.
So this shows the.
Great, yeah, good point, Jeff. So what are we looking at here? This looks like a typical capacity view. So down the left there, I've got my filling lines, two filling lines across Runcorn and also across Frankfurt. And we've got our capacity we can supply, our demand from a production perspective, and our utilization. And well, so far the plan, although quite full, looks fairly comfortable. Can we check, Jeff, what it looks like for the C&R increases?
Cool. So what I first have to do is change this to show that scenario that we created. So it can bring in the extra demand that we applied. So that will go and create a subset of data for the supply situation.
Great. So what happened to the other locations, Jeff? You know, Lille.
The other locations are all in the supply model when we do planning. It will plan everything. Even though on the screen you're only seeing the two main manufacturing plants. And there are also other resources under each factory for mixing and other things which we don't need to show. This is just our bottlenecks.
Right. Excellent. Very good.
Cool. So we've now got our scenario displaying. So I think we're on the unconstrained planning first, I think.
Okay.
Just to see what the situation is.
Regarding that unconstrained plan, I mean, at the end of the day, what I would expect is that it just shows me my demand situation, so I'll be aware of any capacity I can't achieve. At that location.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's take a look.
Which, yeah, well,
Blimey, that was quick. It's much quicker than the last system. I'm very impressed. But look, looking at this plan, it's not going to work, is it? Because as I suspected, with that unconstrained plan, I'm clearly over capacity. Yeah. In Runcorn in March by a good 10% there, and in April by another 5%. So really, it's unachievable. Can we look at Frankfurt, because that's got some capacity further down there, and see if we use that to cover the requirements, we could actually cover this.
yeah, just only on 2/3 capacity, aren't we?
Yeah.
Down the bottom there. Well, why don't we use the optimizer to see if it will make use of that capacity? Yeah?
Constrained plan.
Constraint
Give
plan.
it a go. Yeah.
So cost-based optimization.
No, you're scaring me.
Okay. So we can see there all the alerts have gone. We push more demand Frankfurt's way as well, so we're up to 90% there, where it was 60 something.
That was a very quick run. Yeah.
Okay.
It looks sensible. I think.
But I need to let's save those results, shall we?
So I'm happy that we can use Frankfurt, and the additional transport costs will be offset by Frankfurt's lower manufacturing costs. But can we have a look at the financial impact?
Yeah, let's just let this save and I have a view here which allows me to compare scenarios. I need to add in that scenario.
So I'll be able to see bottom line impact before we commit to the customer.
Absolutely. It will roll up all the revenues, taking account of the discounts that we've given, the extra volumes, the extra cost of goods sold as well, to have to look at the at this level of the gross profit with two scenarios.
So, let's have a look. Let's see what we're looking at here. So we see the we see the revenue and the gross margin.
Would you like to see the difference?
Yes, please.
Let me add that in. So I'll just put in as, oh, got the caps lock on. Can't spell. So I can just put it in as a Excel formula. That minus that.
So what we're comparing here is the revenue difference between the baseline and our scenario, and the gross margin between the baseline and the scenario, and just looking
See
at the
totals
difference.
at the end there.
And if we look at the difference then, in terms of profit, looks like we're going to end up with an overall profit of around £670,000. That looks like well worth doing.
Yeah, it looks like we may struggle with some customers in June there, post-promo for CNR. My guys won't have time yet to factor in any post-promo tips, so let me speak to my team when I get back in the session, and they'll factor in to try and get some of that dip back in June.
Cool, so are we all agreed that Julian can get a commitment to CNR?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I want to do.